How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com, and today I wanted to ask, is it the alcohol that forces me back to drinking? Quick answer is no. It's the habit, it's the behaviour, it's the rituals, it's all these other things that have built up over years and are acting on you every single day. I mean, we've all got lots and lots and lots and lots of habits that go on beneath the surface every single day of our lives, right? You know, the older you get, the stronger some habits get, the more deeply entrenched they get, and the more of an influence they have on you. But you know, a lot of people blame the alcohol because it's an easy cop out. You know, it's the alcohol that makes me do it. It's the alcohol gene that makes me do it. It's my past that makes me do it. It's my culture that makes me do it. And these are all excuses. You know, at the end of the day, none of these things are real from that perspective, right? From a habitual perspective. You know, none of these things can have influence over you if you don't let it. You have to allow the influence to happen in the first place, right? And you have to look at this from the perspective of habitual behaviour. It's like any other habit, right? You've got habits of getting up every morning and going in and making your first cup of coffee or your first cup of tea, and you do it exactly the same thing. You do it on automatic pilot. You brush your teeth every morning. You sit in the chair the same way. You pick up the spoon for your breakfast cereal and you dip the spoon into your breakfast cereal the same way. You put the food into your mouth the same way. You chew it the same way. You swallow it the same way. Even your body digests in a particular way because of your habits. This is all habitual behaviour. Now, the only difference between your habit of getting up in the morning and making your cup of coffee and doing it in exactly the same way, that ritual, and a drinking habit is the intensity, right? You of course there's a drug involved, but there's a drug involved in the coffee making process. So that adds a bit of, you know, the actual drinking coffee and the drinking alcohol. You know, these things add a bit of an underlying urgency to them, you know, or you know, there's an added bit to that habit, but it's not that different. It's still the basic framework that works the whole thing and gets you to drink the alcohol. You know, how a habit works on you depends how you think about it. You know, if you think you can't quit, if you think that you can't do without the alcohol, then the likelihood is you won't be able to. I mean, these things can change rapidly depending on the circumstances, right? You know, if you go to the doctor and the doctor says to you that you've got if you ever drink alcohol again, then you know it's that tipping point that's going to turn your liver over to cirrhosis and you're going to need a liver transplant, but you're on the verge and that you have to stop now, that you can't have one more drink. You know, that information alone would set you up, and it might still be difficult, but it'll be a lot easier than a lot of people, because they have no compunction, they have no reason to stop. So my point is that if you give alcohol superpowers, right, if you start calling alcohol the devil or the demon, or you start giving alcohol these powers that it hasn't got, if you start saying that it's a part of your mind that you can't get access to, right, a genetic part of your being on a very cellular level, right, if you start convincing yourself of that, then you're just putting one huge, massive roadblock in your own way, a huge obstacle, and you don't need that. You know, there's no point in doing that to yourself. So Just wanted to say that from that perspective, that it's not the alcohol that forces you to do anything, it's you that makes you do whatever you do in life. You have the choice, you have the control, and it's up to you to take a hold of that control. You know, take a hold of those cravings and the feelings that you want to have a drink, and rein them in. You know, ride them through, and get out the other end. And if you do that, if you control this habit, then the habit doesn't control you, and you win. That's it for today. I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and keep the alcohol out of your mouth. Onwards and upwards. Good luck. Bye.